Welcome to Stadium BS. For more information, check out www.castellonms.com.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. This is Frankie Castle, the host of Stadium BS. Basically, it's a podcast for me getting pissed off of anything sports business related, specifically baseball, but I will add on to different sports in the long run. Trying to make sense of it all and why being loyal is a thing of the past. Before I go any further, take a look at my website, www.castellonms.com. That is CASTELLONMS.com for all your shopping needs, for resources from past videos. I'm competing to become the longest link tree holder with a bunch of link trees. There actually is a record for that, and it's the world's longest link tree. Look it up. Anything you can find on Google, it's wild. Let's just put it that way. Don't you love the internet? But CastellonMS.com mainly, I do have 120 plus items for sale on 6 different platforms. Okay? So I have my own site with Castellon Motivational Standard Gear. I have eBay, Etsy, Mercari, Poshmark, and now the TikTok shop. I have exclusive Stadium BS gear at the TikTok shop, in addition to some designs I made out of random that will look pretty cool. Take a look at the TikTok shop. Reasonable prices and reasonable savings and reasonable fun to have anything Frankie, including my hair follicles and the kitchen sink. This sponsor for the beginning of the video is sponsored by Molly Bees. That is mollybz.com. Molly Bees gourmet cookies bring creative, unique cookies straight to your pantry. No cookie shop required. With bold, unforgettable flavors, they are the ultimate treat for any occasion. Enjoy this exclusive discount with my promo code at mollybz.com. That promotion code will be 10% off any item. So use the code STADIUMBS, all one word, STADIUMBS, for 10% off any item. And they're delicious, delicious cookies. Very gooey, very tasty, very long-lasting. And they could be right at your door with that promo code. So when you order online, remember me. All one word, Stadium BS as the promo code. 10% off any item at mollybz.com. Molly Bees, the gourmet fresh flavor in your home. Before I go any further, let's get started. This is the cast of the Freddy Sez Podcast. The reason why I'm doing it this way is because I had to do it audio because the Google Meets call, it was 2 people that were actually on the phone, and it had like the little shading on the phone numbers. I don't want to do that on video for YouTube. So I decided to do the RSS way and import it to YouTube, like I did with the history of the Rays. So I did it that way. You do see on the screen why I put the State of the Yankees in money, because of all these changes they did with the uniforms, abiding with MLB, putting the patch on the side, putting the Nike symbol, so on and so forth. And with comments from Hal Steinbrenner about being Joe Pinchpenny in a nutshell, they're going to find other ways to, one, get rid of loyalty, and 2, get rid of the tradition. So that's the reason why I brought him, the cast of my Freddy Sez Podcast, on the show, because we're going to discuss this, and it's a very enlightening conversation. We all had fun with this conversation, and I hope you have fun with this conversation. Episode 3, like what infamous C always says, let's get into it. Stadium BS is on the house. It's in the house. Let me be specific. www.castellonms.com. I have some special guests with me today. I have the cast of the Freddy Sez Podcast. Today, we're actually going to be discussing the state of the Yankees and money. Now, throughout my podcast, I've ranted and raved about the Athletics. I've ranted and raved about the Rays for many years. And everyone's telling, so certain people are looking at me like, wait a minute, aren't you a Yankees fan? And I usually think that the Yankees are doing great money wise until now. And that's why I brought in my guests this evening. How you guys doing?
We're doing good.
All right. So if
Pretty
you guys
good. Great.
awesome. If you guys don't know, the Freddy Sez Podcast is on every Monday at 8:30. You can subscribe to them through Podbean, and they usually have the recordings afterwards on both Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So check them out because they're very entertaining, and it's a good sense of having the New York, atmosphere, which I don't anymore, but it feels a little good to have a little side of home,
Right.
even though it's been so long for me. So guys,
how long you been on the West Coast?
oh, I'm not on the West Coast. I'm in the deep South.
Oh, I thought you were in California.
No. I was just telling them I told you too. I'm gonna lose my mind today. At 13, 14 years old, my mother transferred from Brooklyn to Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
So I spent my teenage years going into adulthood in Tampa, Florida. Then I wanted to change my route because my job, quote unquote, sucked. And I decided to get a better job in Greenville, South Carolina. And that's where I've been for about 11 years.
Nice.
Still a Yankees fan.
Always.
But in my podcast, I have not declared myself a diehard. Okay. And there's a lot of reasons to it. I'll probably spill it in throughout the podcast. Introduce yourselves.
All right, I'll start. My name's Paul Sacco. We live here on Long Island. I'm on Long Island. Yankee fan my whole life from the mid 70s, early 70s, right through. And that's pretty much it. New York, we're a New York fan. I'm a Jet fan. The other guys are all Giant fans. So I'm constantly getting beat up by those guys. But the Giants
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, Giants haven't been much better this year. But yeah, we've all been lifelong Yankee fans.
That's awesome.
Hey, I'm Rich Senior, Rich McBain. I live in Florida, beautiful city of Palm Coast, a little north of Daytona. Lifelong Yankee fan. Grew up season tickets, all that stuff, and just got back from New York actually
Nice.
this afternoon, and we'll talk about some of the Yankee stuff going on, but it's been a little disappointing over the last several years, but
To say the least.
that's me.
Yeah, so I'm Rich Jr. I'm from Long Island. I'm a diehard Yankees Giants fan. So basically, I'm my dad's son, and we would go to Yankee games, with a couple of us, and we kind of kept we started a group chat with my dad, his couple of his friends, and my brother who's not here right now. But we just always kind of kept talking sports, and we were saying for a while we wanted to start a podcast, and we kind of just started doing it last year or so, or
Well,
over
we
the
have
spring, something like that.
this will be our 39th episode tonight. So
Yeah.
we're not even at a year yet. Close, but
Yeah. So
that's a lot still. That's great. That's a great accomplishment.
Yeah. Yeah. And how I found you was I started the podcast Instagram, and I try and post a couple things to there about our podcast. And I guess we just connected somehow through some of the posts that I was sharing and seeing what you were doing over there.
It was funny because I have multiple Instagram accounts. Don't ask me why. One's for like my podcast, one's for my business, one's, one for my wife to tag my kids on the Instagram. And I keep that one private. You actually found me through that Instagram. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna let you in. I'm gonna let you in through the main one I use. And I looked at it and I was like, Freddy Sez. I said, that took me back. When I was a little boy, my brother was the one that introduced me to baseball. And I wasn't into it at first at around 5 or 6. I just went. But here's the funny thing. My brother, probably you guys' age, probably in your one of you guys is in your 50s. My brother's at that same range. He was diehard Yankees fan in the late 70s when you got Billy Martin, Reggie Jackson, Thurman Munson, and and his favorite player was always going to be Reggie Jackson. Around 81, 82, when he was in grade school, he got so mad at George Steinbrenner because they traded away Reggie Jackson. And my mom was dating. Yeah, my mom at the time was dating the Irishman. I'll say that introduced him to being a Yankees fan. He was a diehard too, Irishman from the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to him and he's like, I'm done with the Yankees. I'm going to the Mets. That is a true story. And he witnessed the 86 season. He witnessed all that. And he introduced me, believe it or not, to the Mets first. So he took me to Shea Stadium first. The reason why is because Yankee Stadium was not all that safe at the time. And they were a god-awful team in the early 90s. Well, the Mets weren't any better in the early 90s. But then he started introducing me to the Yankees in the mid-90s. And there's a whole story behind it. I'm not going to get too much in depth into it. But I call this I just thought about this today, the ETS syndrome. If you don't know what that is, this is something I came up with my crazy brain. The ETS syndrome is pretty much you make it so far, but they're going to disappoint you all the time. The Mets, the Jets, and the Nets.
Yes.
ETS. The ETS of disappointment.
I got you. I see it.
So during like the 07-08 season, I was done with the Mets. I was done with the Mets because they lost to the Marlins. Not once, but twice to eliminate themselves from the playoffs. I was done. So I jumped on board to the Yankee train, and 17 years later, not going to regret it.
Nope. We actually lost the series to the Marlins. What was that?
2003.
03. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
03.
That was a tough loss.
Yeah, it was. Whew.
Burkett. What was the pitcher? Josh Beckett.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Beckett. Yep.
Josh Beckett.
Yep.
Killed us that series.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, well, nothing was worse than the 2001 loss. That was terrible.
That was heartbreaking. That was it Freddy Gonzalez?
No, that was
Carlos
Carlos Gonzalez.
Yeah. Mariano.
Yep.
One of Mariano's one thing that he did bad was that hit he gave off to Gonzalez. That little bloop jammed him inside, little bloop single.
Yep. Well, the infield was in, the bases were loaded, you know, and that was the 9/11 year. We should have won it.
Yeah.
We had all the stars were aligned for us to win that thing with everything going on, and very disappointing. But what are you going to do?
It was very hard. So if people don't know on this show, they called themselves the Freddy Sez Podcast for a reason. Back when I was little, I'm like, you guys witnessed the same thing. There was a super fan named Freddy. He goes to every single Yankee home game, and he always has a sign that says Freddy Sez, and then the Yankees are going to win this year, whichever it may be. And he would have a pan with him with the sign on a stick, and he'll walk around the entire stadium, and everybody would just take his spoon, start knocking on it left and right, and you heard that all the time. I did not know he did it up until 2008.
I think it was the year. I think when they moved into the new stadium, it kind of winded down from there. So what year was that? The first year at the new stadium?
2009, right?
Oh no!
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I think that '08 was the last year in the old stadium. He might have started into the new stadium, but quickly after that, I don't think they allowed him to do it or what.
Yeah, there was a
He used to
whole
just
rift
walk
there
in.
between him.
Yeah, because he would just, I think, go to games for free. Like they would let him in.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And then once they went to the new one, they kind of squashed that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I never really looked into that story, why, but I remember there was a bunch of articles about it. The Yankees won't let, Freddie into the building, and I think they ended up, comping him and letting him in the building in the new stadium. But yeah, he was a staple in Yankee Stadium. My kids, Rich is on here now, Rich Jr., and they couldn't wait till this guy walked around. It was the greatest thing ever. It was so silly, but just watching the kids hit that pan was just like, wow. They thought it was the greatest thing ever. It was this old, decrepit, frying pan tied to a thing.
Yep.
It was just crazy. But everybody loved it, man. They would scream for him to come over for that. For them, I did it. Grown man hitting this stupid pan.
Yep.
But
Same here
he
as a
was
little boy.
Yep, Yankee fan favorite, and certainly got the crowd riled up. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
I don't know if everyone remembers. I'll go back a ways to the old Met guy that used to hold the signs up. Remember?
Sure.
Paulie, you're a semi-Met fan from years ago. You remember that?
Yeah, he had like
Remember the guy?
he had a new sign. He had like it's like a folding sign. He would just open it up. I think he wore like a orange and blue derby hat. He'd be in the stands, and it was kind of the same feel, same idea.
He had like sayings and stuff on it,
Yes.
but this was similar to that, and it just, watching the little kids hit that pan was just like, wow, that's a fan. You don't forget that stuff when you're at a ball game, especially. Good stuff.
The thing is, I totally forgot about it, and then when you guys found me, I was like, it just like triggered a memory like that, because I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we were trying to come up with names, and then back and forth through texting, and it just hit us, and I don't know, seems to resonate.
It fit right for us, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's, as diehard Yankees fans as you guys are, yeah, you hit it on the nail, and then you can also explain why you picked the name, and it's a great story to tell.
It's funny, that also led into, at the end of our podcast, I do a bit called Paulie Sez, SEZ, and that's driving home from work one day. I'm like, you know what, that might work. You do Paulie Sez. I'll rant about something on each episode, and it worked out nicely with that. as well.
Exactly.
So
just remember, you gotta do what Paulie says.
that's right. Absolutely.
All right.
Good stuff.
So one other thing, I'm like, I think I sent one of you guys the thumbnail. I think it was Junior that I sent it to.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So I sent him a thumbnail, and I'll post it up on YouTube when I get everything edited and ready. It is basically a messed up collage of all the Yankee modifications they have done throughout past 30 years. Normally, we think of the tradition of the pinstripes and then the road grays. They've always had that. They're never going to change it. And part of the discussion is they have changed it for special occasions. And the most the most far I could go back to was they wore the old retro road uniforms for a Tigers game back in '96. Um, and then we see more changes to alternates throughout the 2010s and 2020s, thanks to Major League Baseball. The Little League, the Players Weekend uniforms. Now we got the Nike symbol on the jerseys because at one time frame, the Yankees signed a contract not to even put the Majestic logo on the right hand side. And they've done so many different things. They even wore retro uniforms for the Boston Red Sox 100th anniversary. They did that, and we beat them, mind you.
Yes.
But they've done a circle of all these. Now, Hal Steinbrenner, he's now acting like Joe Pinchpenny right now, and this is going to lead into something. And he's already taken the money from Nike. He's now taken the money from Star Insurance, the side patch. And he did comments about the City Connects. Now, this is where I'm going with this. He already did some modifications on the beard policy to accommodate the players, which Devin Williams is gone.
Player
To accommodate one player, yes.
Yeah.
So when I heard that and I reacted, I said the next thing that's going to happen is, because he's being Joe Pinchpenny, he says, no, I'm not going to do it. He is going to do it. A City Connect uniform. It's going to happen in a amount of time. My question for you guys is, with all the financials, with not only been letting Freddie into the building because he had to pay a ticket, has the Yankee tradition a thing of the past?
Well,
it might. I don't
ahead,
know.
Paul.
It may be. Hal has been pretty disappointing on what he's been doing running the club. We talked about the luxury tax and what, the bill we paid last year. I think it was 61 million.
Yeah.
Over the luxury tax. Dodgers paid over 100 million.
Yep.
And, when your team is worth so much money and you're making so much capital, we don't understand it. The Yankee logo is the most popular sports logo in the world. Like,
Correct.
we talked about, third world country videos of kids, walking in the streets, and the kids got a Yankee hat on, in Africa somewhere. So
Yes.
Hal is definitely probably going to fall into that, I believe. I mean,
Yeah. That's what's bothering me right now. It's like he's really giving into the almighty dollar versus his father, who just wanted to win.
Right.
And that's something
Well-
that. Go ahead.
Well, I don't want to say I understand it, because basically teams of that nature, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Lakers, the Cowboys, they're printing money.
Yes.
And I don't want to hear it that they're, I had to pay a luxury tax of 61 million. I listen, 61 million is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but you're worth $10 billion. You can somewhat afford to pay that with the amount of money you make from that logo. Like Paulie said, some kid's got a Yankee hat from wherever, and I know the Japan connection is huge for the Dodgers. We had that
that's
back
huge.
we had that back in the day with Matsui, everywhere you looked. It was all Japanese writing in Yankee Stadium in the back, and all the media and the tourists, and everybody that came to that stadium was paying money to see Matsui back in the day. But I don't know. It's a little disheartening to see some of that stuff that insurance on our shoulder, on our shoulder, and the Nike symbol. I get it, but I don't know. I think what you said was right. I think one day we will see something of that nature with those
Mhm.
silly uniforms and colors. Once they take
Yep.
away the pinstripes and that away uniform that we all love, that grayish uniform, I don't know, man.
Mhm.
That's going to be a big. That's going to be a tough one to take as a traditional, true Yankee
It's going to be a
fan,
lot of backlash.
for sure,
Yes,
for sure.
Exactly.
You know,
especially for us old
It's gonna,
timers.
yeah,
We like the old traditions.
yeah. You know,
I agree.
you just mentioned old timers. You know, the old timers days probably going to change. They've changed the All-Star game. You know, they're doing a lot of different things in all these sports to attract fans and make money. But
Yep.
you know, I don't know where it's going to go, but they're still making money. So I don't want to hear them crying about, our revenue was only $1 billion.
Oh, you want me to give you
this
facts?
year, you know. Yeah, go ahead. I want to
Okay,
hear
so
them.
you want me to give you facts? Hal Steinbrenner's net worth is $3 billion. Okay, that's his personal net worth. The Yankees itself, $8.2 billion net worth,
Right.
It's crazy.
and that's as of March of 2025. So
And
I don't.
61 million from how much you say? 10 billion? 8 billion? What'd you say?
8.2
$8
billion.
billion net
Yeah,
worth. Yeah.
61 million from 8.2 billion it's pittance. It really is. There's no justifying it if you're going to run the Yankees. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No excuses.
And that's why they're not signing anyone. They're pretty much sticking to what they have, and they're gonna lowball Scott
Well,
Boras as much as they can.
Yeah.
With
and
what's his face? Bellinger.
Yeah, go on to the other side of New York there. You know, the Mets, I know they're kind of doing the same thing this year. Now, I don't know how far they're going to go, the Yankees, with and not signing people, but, they're paying a guy, $750 million, one guy, and I think it's hindered them for signing some of these other big-time players. So I don't know. We don't know the deep down financial part of it, behind the
No.
scenes, what's going on there. But I don't know. It's amazing to me. We went through all the meetings, the winter meetings. Spring training is literally a month away.
Yeah,
Pitches and
mid-February.
catches. February, yep.
Okay,
Like-
a month and a half. We haven't done anything yet. I don't get
Yeah.
it. I don't. Go ahead.
Here's one thing about my podcast that I've deeply I've deep dived in on my rants and raves about the sports, the business of baseball mainly. I'll probably get into like NFL and all that later on, or soccer. But mainly I dive into what's wrong with the business of baseball. And one of the things they're trying to do is they're trying to evolve it any way they can. They're trying to mainly get the attention span of Gen Z. And you know how to do it with Gen Z. It's through social media. I'm a person that likes to wear fun t-shirts. I wear a lot of Marvel. I wear a lot of Star Wars. I wear maybe Simpsons and SpongeBob. And I like to get them through oldglory.com. Oldglory.com offers 300,000 items for music, sports, entertainment, and pop culture fans, featuring officially licensed merch from iconic bands to top sports teams. Discover your perfect fan gear and save with my exclusive discount at oldglory.com. So I found a couple things that I want to check out on the site, and they actually have the old school Marlins t-shirt. Not the one that's teal, but the one that they went into Miami. Welcome to Miami. So I'm looking forward to getting some of that, along with other items such as Yankees gear that I'm sad that they didn't make the playoffs, but I'll still get the gear. Get it at oldglory.com. And also use my promo code StadiumBS. You get 15% off your order. That is promo code StadiumBS for 15% discount out of the order. Check them out. oldglory.com. Check them out now while supplies last. So instead of getting MLB Network, which I usually do, I don't know about this year, depending on how ESPN does it. I'll watch it on my TV. I'll have a game in the background. But a lot of people that are not interested in baseball, they'll want to see their favorite player. Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, you name it, Juan Soto. And that's what they go for. And one of the things I've learned through different radio personalities, and I'm talking about the ones in Florida, that they're rooting for their favorite player. They're not rooting for their team. I used to work at Lids. I work on and off at Lids. The reason why they get a Yankee hat or a Dodger hat is, one, it's the style, of course. Two, is because of their favorite player. That's it.
Yeah.
Not a favorite team. Yes. It's evolving to that. That's why they're modifying stadiums for like party suites, social gatherings. They're trying to get anybody in the seats. That's all they can do. And that's was the main problem with the Rays and the Athletics in that aspect. They're trying to get butts and seats, but how can they find a way to market themselves? So that's how Major League Baseball is thinking about this, and they have to go outside the box, which sometimes they'll piss off the traditional fan, and you're going to make a buttload of money. And I'll even throw this out there. I know later on we're going to talk about the Giants and the Raiders, which is hilarious. But I saw a TikTok on the other day, and it was one of these Las Vegas reporters saying, "Oh, that the Raiders market so good, blah 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 blah," and I had to respond. They basically took the loyalty out of Oakland and wanted to cater to tourism. So I don't know if it's going to be along those lines that they're doing that. Mind you, that I'm like, I don't envy you guys in New York, okay? Because I would not pay New York Yankee ticket prices. I will not, because the food, the seats, everything under the sun, maybe a bottle of water. I don't even know how much a bottle of water costs. Maybe $8. I don't know.
You talk about sometimes you always talk about a family of four going to a ball game, tickets, parking, souvenirs, food, like $400-500 a night. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Insane.
Who can afford that? You
Yeah.
know.
Exactly. So I don't know what their marketing ploy is, and it's going to keep on evolving in that factor for years to come. So that leads me into the next question. If good old George Steinbrenner was here, let's say he was alive and well, and he went through the Walt Disney frozen tank. That he went to he was cryogenically frozen, and he came out, and he looks out with his turtleneck and says, "What the hell is this?" What would he say?
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't be happy about losing for the last, since 2009. That's for sure. You know.
I don't think
Certainly,
Aaron
Boone.
Boone
Aaron
would not
Boone
be
would have
here.
been fired by now.
Oh, well, he would have
That's
been
for sure.
fired probably 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, though, the ticket prices and the business end of it, and
Mhm.
trying to get tourism to go to games. Well, at the Oakland A's, right? They're moving to Vegas. Same type of deal. Their stadium looks phenomenal from the specs that I've seen and some of the pictures I've seen on it. Maybe it'll draw some fans there. Who knows?
Well,
Who knows?
Probably will.
just the people weren't going to Oakland to watch the A's because they're terrible every year. But you
Right.
build them a $2 billion stadium, and you're going to Vegas to gamble, and you want to do something different. It's like, oh, let's go to an A's game and see the new stadium. Now all of a sudden their attendance is double, and they still have a poor team on the field. But at least they're putting seats.
Yeah.
They're putting butts in the seats because
And
of the stadium.
the thing about it is that the owner, John Fisher, which I've pissed on him for the last 2-3 years, he pretty much cut all ties. He purposely, from what experienced purposely not 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 paid his players. I'm like, he'll just easily get rid of a star player for a return factor, and he's one of the big recipients of what was it called, revenue sharing, one of the big ones,
Right.
and they do up this plan and say, you know what, we're gonna hit this market. And the other reason why they wanted to hit this market, not only for gambling, I'm like sports betting and all that, but they also wanted to appease the San Francisco Giants because they wanted to forcefully be the Bay Area's team. That's it. They don't want competition, period.
Right. Right.
And it goes into me saying I really don't ever want to be a loyalist. I love my Yankees. When I watched the 2024 World Series and I saw them lose, my first response was like, that sucks. I'm going to bed.
Mm.
I'm like, it's I see people, they're diehards and they take it strong. And I'm trying to give them a different aspect of it, but I also feel for the fans, and they don't deserve that. They don't. And I'm afraid that the Yankees are going to be at the same level
Well,
as of every
listen,
other team.
a lot of the teams are going through the same situation, except for the
Yes.
Dodgers. They don't care. They'll just buy anybody. They'll pay $100 million. They're worth. I don't know what they're worth, but they got a lot of money behind them. I know that. That's for sure.
Yeah, well,
So-
they just signed Diaz, right? They just
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
getting Tariq Skubal. You can imagine what that contract will look like. But Chris had mentioned at the podcast last week about money coming from Japan.
Mhm.
So who knows what's going on behind the scenes there. But hi, Junior, you there? What do you think?
Yeah, I think to that point of the Yankees becoming kind of just like every other team, I kind of agree with that. Like that's where it's trending at least.
Mhm.
I don't think we're there yet, but I think with how doing what he's doing, it's certainly trending that way.
Mm-hmm.
And whether I don't think he's really just a figurehead. I really do think that he has a big part in, where the organization is going.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he has
It was also George Steinbrenner's personality just had that different feel to it, where I do think it trickles down through the fan base to the team as well. So, he's just not the same type of guy that he is, and he's also not he's not making similar decisions as to what George probably would have been doing. So,
Well, George was a beast. He was aggressive as all can be.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And there's actually another podcast I wanted to mention to you guys. There's a podcast I listen to. I don't know if you guys listen to it. It's called Crime and Sports, and it's by these two comedians, and they are freaking hilarious. And there's certain topics I would not even touch with a 10-foot pole, but it's about sports figures getting into trouble, pretty much. And they did a 10-part series on Billy Martin. And I'm gonna tell you something. That was one of the most hilarious podcasts I've ever heard in my life. How they portrayed Billy Martin and George Steinbrenner, it was the best. You gotta take a listen to that. It was the
Yeah.
best.
That was pure entertainment.
Oh
Not
my
only as a
goodness.
manager, but Billy was kind of funny back in the day when he was a player too, with
Mhm.
with some of the Mickey Mantle stories and the Whitey Ford stories. But
it was daily news headlines,
Oh yeah.
every day with that guy, and
Yeah,
the
they
back
always
and
go at
forth
it.
with him and Steinbrenner. How many times did he fire him? Was it 5?
6 times. It
5
was
times?
5. And he was gonna go for a
Yeah.
6 hiring before he got in a car accident.
Yeah. So
yeah, but
you
Billy,
know.
no matter how messed up Billy was, he could manage. He was a phenomenal manager. Great
That
man.
was his
Without a
passion.
doubt. Yeah. But, it was a different game back then, too, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
You sign Reggie, or Catfish Hunter was one of the first big signings, right? Free agent signings.
Sure.
Mhm.
I don't remember the dollar amount, but it's a different game, totally different game. I think we talked about it, last week on our podcast or maybe the week before that, baseball's different. It's all about the long ball.
Yep.
It's not the baseball we knew, back in the 80s and the 70s for
Yeah,
sure.
that's
So,
that's the Yankees mentality right now is the long ball. I mean, you know, Toronto didn't get to the World Series by hitting a long ball. It's part of their game.
no, but we mentioned it last week. What? Only 6 players or 7 players hit 300 this year in
Yeah,
MLB. Period.
yeah, crazy.
MLB. Period. Crazy. It's a different game.
Yep.
It's
You want
all
me to tell how
about the big hit. The big headline.
Yep. And
What it is.
it was funny because I was looking up the Dodgers net worth. The Dodgers itself is worth 6.9 billion. Okay, but this is where the kicker is. The owner, Mark Walter, and this is the reason why he's getting the big players. His investment firm, Guggenheim Partners. Take a wild guess how much their net worth is.
Yeah. Who knows?
350
100.
billion.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, Guggenheim. Yeah, well, that's what's backing that team. I mean,
Yes.
they can
So they're-
afford to pay the luxury tax. Not that we can't, but it's a different mindset. Different mindset.
Big time. Big time. But yeah, that's all going away, and it's sad. And it's like, are we gonna endure it, or are we gonna say goodbye? And there's certain time frames I'm like, I don't even want to deal with Major League Baseball. I really don't. I'm like,
I
I
don't.
live in. Go ahead.
I don't know if you saw it, but the cowboy documentary on Netflix.
I have to watch
I
it.
only got up to the Deion Sanders part. I still have not finished it, but
Mhm.
when Jerry Jones initiated, putting advertisements and Nike and Pepsi and all those brands in his arena,
Mhm.
that kind of changed the market for all sports,
Yes.
and football wasn't happy with him in the beginning, but guess what? Everybody's doing it. So
Everyone's making more money. That's why.
well, there you go. And like we said earlier, unfortunately, now the Yankees got Nike on their uniform, and God forbid they ever decide to put their names on the jersey. That'll be it for me. I might check out then.
yeah.
I don't think they're
But-
gonna do that. I really think they'll probably either do an alternate or a City Connect. I don't think they're gonna go that far,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
That would be pure blasphemy if they ever did that.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
the last 25 years was blasphemy. Okay.
Yeah. No, this would put it over the top, though. That's
Yeah.
that would be the worst.
So I got a question for you guys. This is probably my last topic, and we could run on to your show. Is I was a fan of the old New York stadiums. I've been to Yankee Stadium, Shea Stadium, Madison Square Garden, Nassau Coliseum. What's the arena in New Jersey called? Izod Center, Continental Arena when I was there.
Mhm.
I've been to all of them. I went down as far as Philadelphia when I lived in the Northeast. What was your favorite stadium to be in, current or old or past, and why?
Go ahead, Rich. You go first. I know
Well,
what you're gonna say.
the old Yankee Stadium, obviously for me,
Of course.
you know, grew up in there, but I did go to the old Shea Stadium a lot when I was a kid. And I know it got beat up a lot, but I loved it as a kid. Any stadium you walked into, you loved. It was just seeing that green grass walking out of the tunnel was just amazing from a young kid's perspective. But the old
Absolutely.
Yankee Stadium, I'm not a big fan of the new one. We had our season tickets there the first year, and then I ended up moving to Florida. But the old Yankee Stadium, two things: the old Nassau Coliseum, loved it.
Yep.
No arena like that, even though it got crapped on. Oh, it's old. No noise like that. No feel like that from a. I went to all the Stanley Cups when I was a kid. A lot of them.
Wow.
You know, and I have to add Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. I love it. I go a lot to spring training games. But those are my favorites. And,
Have you gone to any Miami Marlins or Tampa Bay Rays games?
Oh yeah, love the Miami Marlins. I went to the Yankees series this year.
The sold out one.
Yeah, we lost all 3 games, but great little stadium. I mean, it's indoors, it's air conditioned. Good atmosphere. Obviously, a lot of the Spanish music and all of that. Really exciting stuff. Good stadium though. Tim and the dome. They're building it again. It looks like it's going to be ready. I love that stadium. Everybody beats up on it, but
that was my home away from home.
oh really? Yeah, it's 90 degrees outside and it's 70 degrees watching a game. You can't beat it.
Yep. I felt so comfortable there.
What was that? The Tampa Rays, Tampa Bay Rays Stadium.
Yeah,
the Tropicana.
Yep.
Tropicana Dome. Sorry, I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah. Well, for me, we started going to Yankee games when we got our driver's license, right? Like talking around like 1986, 87. We would drive in, we would buy, $4 or $5 bleacher tickets. We were part of the original bleacher creatures back in the day. And then that's for sure. I think that's when we really, really started falling in love with the Yankees. Those games, sitting out there drinking beers for the first time, the chants that went on, it was incredible. I was really disappointed in the new Yankee Stadium. I mean, it's got some good stuff, but it doesn't have character like some of these new stadiums they built, like Camden Yards, the Bank One ballpark in Arizona, whatever it's called now. It's got some pizzazz to it, but it just doesn't have the feel of the old stadium. It's not even close. I mean, we were in some of the games, 96 World Series, and the place was literally shaking under your feet from the crowds just, jumping up and down and banging around. It was insane. God. Crazy. You really thought the seats were or the bleachers were gonna collapse underneath you. That's how crazy it was getting. And then again, like Richie, the old Nassau Coliseum, the barn, which they called it, during the Islanders run back in the mid '80s. Me and Richie are 60. We're dating ourselves, so we've seen a lot on Long Island and in the Bronx from those two stadiums. And you know what? Me being a Jet fan, Shea Stadium when the Jets played there was pretty cool too. I mean, you go to games in December at Shea Stadium, freezing cold. Shea Stadium had character. It really did. So
I agree.
There was two trigger memories when it came to Yankee and Shea Stadium. I'll start off with Shea Stadium first. When we got off the 7 and we go down the tunnel onto the concourse, back then they used to play this theme song. It was no words were involved. It's not Meet the Mets, but it was like da 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 da, and I used to hear it all the time. And when I walked into Shea Stadium and the drafts, the wind that came in, and it just you felt like you're in a stadium, which like you said, character. At Yankee Stadium, we get off. I took what did we take? The D train. We didn't take the 4. We took
the D
train. Yeah, because I lived in Midtown, so I took the D train. And when we got up, my brother, God help me with him, he take us there 2 hours early because you know why? Because he has to go to Stand the Man and go through all those stores. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, he loved going through that. So I was like, I got into it as well to a degree. And then when you walk into Yankee Stadium, you hear an organ. You hear Eddie
Yeah.
Layton playing the organ.
Mm-hmm.
I miss that.
Yep. Definitely.
Bob Shepard doing the
Yes.
the lineups. I mean, nothing better than that.
Yeah.
And then you would meet at the bat.
yes.
Always.
That, right.
Good one, Rich. Good one. That was the spot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's still there, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
They left it up.
Yeah. We're not going to get rid of that. No. I'm trying to remember what the purpose of the bat was. There was something involved in that.
Was it a water tank or something, or was it a? I don't
Like
remember.
an exhaust.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's
thought it
a-
was an exhaust or
Yes.
something.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah. So it
Something
had
of
some
that
purpose
nature.
infrastructure wise. Any final takes? Anything you wanted to?
Rich,
I'll,
what
You
what
do
do
I'll
you
just
something?
say for me, yeah, I mean, for me, the old stadium, I'll just say a couple things about it. I think the physical structure of the building of the
Mhm.
old stadium, like you would see that upper, I remember as a kid looking at that upper deck, like when you were sitting in the stands and even when it's on TV, just
Mhm.
always looked like imposing to me.
Yeah.
And even players used to say, like, when you're standing on the field looking up at that thing, it just had a different feel to it, like it was an intimidating feel, and that's not what the new one really has. So I just, always remembered that as a kid.
You know, one thing I didn't hear you guys talk about, and it just brought me a fond memory of it. I'm surprised none of you guys talk about the old Madison Square Garden before the
Oh,
2012 renovation.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
I re-
So
I
Go ahead.
we saw a lot of Nick games back in the day when Patrick Ewing was there, and
for sure.
you still
And
had
the
a
Ra- and the Rangers.
the interior bowl still has that same feel to it. But it's more of the concourse outside that really changed mostly. I mean, you look at the ceiling at the Garden, it still kind of looks the same. They did add the bridge to it. That upper deck. Me and Chris saw Nick game there once, sitting up at like the bar stools. That was pretty cool. But you feel like you're looking straight down at it. But yeah,
Yeah.
lot
Yeah.
of events in the Garden as well, for sure. I think we're more Islander fans. Um, didn't go to a lot of Nick games, big Nick fans, but as you can see, I got the hat on tonight.
Nice.
Uh, yeah,
Represent the fitted.
definitely. Nick, yeah, Madison Square Garden was pretty cool. Probably saw more concerts there than I saw sporting events.
I think
That
I
was
saw more Nick games there. I had an in for the Knicks back in whatever year, and I used to go a lot with a buddy of mine. But you know, maybe we take the Garden for granted a little bit, but it's certainly when you get in there, it's fun. It's a great arena for sure.
It's too bad the Knicks and Rangers haven't seen more championships over the years.
yeah.
That's
It's
pretty
really
This is
sad.
our
sad.
year.
The Mecca,
This,
it's the Mecca. The Mecca hasn't really brought many titles to
the
the
mecca of what? They've
the
not
Mecca.
winning,
It's
that's
the
for
Mecca
sure.
of sports.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is our year, though.
This
This is
might be
our
our
year.
year for the Knicks. Let's hope so.
My interpretation of the Mecca is entertainment mainly for me, because I've only maybe went to, if I remember correctly, 3 Ranger games and 1 Nick game. A lot of the time for me going to the Garden was for Ringling Brothers,
Hmm.
different shows. When the theater at Madison Square Garden was good, and
Yes.
they had the big shows like A Christmas Carol. I
Hmm.
think they had The Wizard of Oz at one time frame,
Sure.
and it was
I
called
saw the
Paramount.
Globetrotters there. I saw the Globetrotters
Yes,
there
that's
years
another
ago.
one. That's another one. Those were the memories that I thought of, especially sitting in those colored seats. You had
Yeah,
the teal, you had the maroon,
the blue seats.
The
the
blue
blue.
seats. Yep.
Yes, yeah. So those
Yeah,
were
for
those
sure.
were memories that I took. was wonderful. So
Yeah.
I call it the Mecca of entertainment.
Yes.
Eventually, it will be the Mecca of sports in due time. Let's see how the Knicks play. I made fun of the Knicks fans last year. I really did. God, I'm sorry. It was hilarious. Those sideway videos that they do, that basically they're ranting and raving and they're doing stupid crap outside of the garden. And then you had the one guy sitting atop a billboard on 33rd Street. I'm like, oh my God. So
Yeah.
I could imagine this coming year. Oy. Well, guys.
Well, they're winning 20-16 right now. So let's see.
Oh, good.
You got that on one of your TVs, Rich?
I got it on the iPad.
Good old iPad. How many subscriptions you got?
Not that many. Not
That's
that many.
good.
Just enough to watch my teams. That's all.
Nice. Hey, you gotta find a way. Trust me, I know. All right, guys.
Well, listen, we got to get signed off here.
Yes, that's what I was
We're
gonna
gonna
say.
get
I
on
was
our
gonna
call.
cut it off. Yeah, I was gonna end it right there. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for participating. I should have this video up probably within the next 2-3 weeks. I got 2 other episodes in the pipeline that I'm already
Cool.
editing up. So I will put that as a number 3.
All right, cool. Thanks,
Awesome.
Frankie.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Awesome,
Appreciate you
man.
guys.
Thank you.
We'll definitely do this again during baseball season.
100%.
You got it, pal. Appreciate
maybe like
it. Have
a
great night.
maybe like a preseason show or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good idea.
And see
For
what
sure.
the Yankees still might have to do, see what they end up doing.
Yep.
Still time.
We'll see.
And that's why it's called crickets.
Yes.
Yeah. Nothing.
All right, guys. Take
All
it
right,
easy.
Frank.
We'll
Thank
see you
you.
on the next one.
Bye-bye.
If you've never seen how a bunch of New Yorkers act and talk the real old school New York way, now you heard it. Okay. I enjoyed this group, this collab podcast. And I hope you got some insight out of it. I really do appreciate the fellas being on this podcast. So hopefully we could do it during baseball season. Let's see how scheduling and everything goes. Before I let you guys go, I do have an ending sponsor known as the Strong Coffee Company, www.strongcoffeecompany.com. You can get any item on the site and use my promo code StadiumBS for 20% off any item you want. Doesn't matter what it is, 20% off any item. Doesn't matter. It is an exclusive code that you can use by listening to this podcast. Elevate your coffee routine with Strong Coffee Company's Black Instant Blend and lattes. Both feature organic coffee, protein, MCTs, and adaptogens for sustained energy and mental clarity. This is a great way to start your day. Take a look at them, strongcoffeecompany.com. Until then, thank you, God bless, and have yourself a wonderful day. Take care.
Thank you for watching on YouTube and thank you for listening on your favorite podcast platform.